How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about OCGN. Ended up having a pullback inside of the market. I was telling you guys there's a good chance we can go back to visiting $3.30. Of course, we ended up closing below that, but these are part of the reasons why I say you want to be patient. There's no need to rush. I'll talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's get into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $3.13, being down 26% on the day. On the low, it tested $3.12, and then on the high, testing $3.48. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 28.904 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 15.929 million shares. So we notice we did have above average volume on the day, but we dealt with a good amount of selling pressure. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 41.06. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, we're also below the 50-day, and as well as for the 21-day EMA. And as you can see from this sell-off, we do have a gap here on the chart, but another thing we have to pay attention to, we saw a lot of volatility in the markets as well. And where we close at $3.13, it's a clear area of support for OCGN. If we end up breaking through this 313 level, then you want to see if $3 could actually hold up. That'll be very key because if we break through $3, that's where we can start visiting into the $2.80 range. If you want to look for a reversal, of course you want to look for the gap fill, right? So getting back to this 21-day EMA right here at $3.72, and then you want to see if you can make a further move up from there. Do keep in mind they do have earnings on February the 25th, so that's why I'm saying there's a good chance this volatility continue. And since it has been on a downtrend and is trading below all of our major moving averages, I would highly suggest to be patient before getting into a position. So now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for OCGN. Scrolling down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So as you can see, we don't have any recent filings, and the one that we covered, which was yesterday, was Virtu Financial LLC that purchased 91,959 shares. And as far as changes that have been made, we see Simplex Trading with their calls and as well as their puts. The values have changed, so they ended up closing out some of these, and we also see Humankind Benefit Corp also closing out some positions as well when we take a look at the decrease in value. And then when we take a look at the chart that I want to bring to your attention here as far as institutions loading up on shares, you can see as of late institutions have been buying it up, so this gives some confidence to anyone who's a long-term investor. Now taking a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 57.72%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 17.706 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 350,000, updated 1 minute ago. And then when we take a look at the short borrow fee rate, on the high of the day it was at 41.27%, and on the low of the day being at 17.98%, and for the latest from 1 minute ago is at 21.99%. Taking a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 18th, it's at 48 48.49, and then for the close of the 22nd being at 57.72. So what this tells us, OCGN does continue to have short squeeze potential. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we see here on the inflow, it was at 13.10, and then on the outflow, it's at 13.70. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 0.22. On the medium, it was 8.18, and then on the small, it was 4.70. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0.88. On the medium, it was 7.82, and then on the small, it was 5. And then when we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, February the 23rd, it being that negative outflow of 656.12. And for the past 4 trading days, you can see the outflows have been fairly heavy. And then when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders, it tends to represent the retail side. We had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the large, which represents whales, institutions, or funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 14.59%. So no surprises why it was high. We know they ended up releasing our offering yesterday, and of course many investors were not happy about this. And then if we compound the issue in regards to market conditions, this is why we had the pullback that we had. I'll talk about some further details in the final thoughts, so let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, in regards to the price action, I am not surprised with the pullback that we had today. Remember what I said in yesterday's video. This stock can go down to testing $3.30. We ended up closing at $3.13. So I know many of you want to make sure you're getting a good deal on this play. We do have a 52-week low around $2.87, and there's actually a strong likelihood we might be able to revisit this area. And maybe that might be an area that you may want to actually get into a position or add to your current position. But do know the risks that are involved. We know how much time this is going to take for OCGN to come through and execute on those goals. So being aware of this variable, you want to add it to your homework and as well as your due diligence to make sure that you are not overpaying. And if you are in this play and if you were up, you want to make sure that you're using a stop loss, especially when it comes to these biotech plays. Whenever they come out with some sort of news that is disappointing, they have strong pullbacks. Or in OCGN's case, when it brings out strong catalysts, it always ends up selling off. So I want to make sure that you are adjusting to this pattern and you're not getting left bag holding. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. Plus, on top of that, we do see there's a lot of interest coming from institutions. And like what I talked about in the previous video, it does have some solid price targets being at around $10.33. So when you think about that, there is potential for this stock to reach that price target sometime this year. So that's why doing your homework, doing your due diligence, and making sure you're getting in with the right entries is important. Yes, I know what you're saying. So why not buy right now if we know that the upside is around $10.33? I say this. Why not wait for them to release earnings and see what comes of it? Because if you want to actually maximize your profits, you want to make sure you're getting in at the best price possible. And that's what I want to make sure I'm emphasizing. You just don't want to go in there buying blindly. Plus, you don't want to be a part of that whole herd mentality. If you see this stock spike up to $4 to $5 and be like, man, I need to get in. Oh my gosh, the FOMO. Nah, we don't do this on this channel, and we definitely don't do that inside of the Discord either. So that's why when people ask me in the Discord, hey, Dre, should I buy OCGN right now? I'm like, no, you should not. Let's see what Shankar can prove to us first before we go ahead and give him our hard-earned money. So I will be keeping a very close eye on this play, and I will be keeping you guys inside of the loop. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as far as for the market conditions are concerned, if you are going to be making an investment decision, make sure that you're doing it wisely. Just don't buy any stock out there because the price looks cheap, because it could easily turn around on you. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.